got 3 or 4, including Perry, hopping along on his 3 legs because nobody can bring him down. Nervous about this video I'm making because I'm afraid I'm going to be criticized that it's sounding like an ad. But that's because I'm kind of having sort of an avoidant moment, which was expected. What the point of this video is, I'm going to talk about the effects that I'm having after making that Patreon, which, I'm going to say straight off the bat, somehow I have a benefactor. It was Alex Trijay. Probably terrible pronunciation. Anyway, which thank you very much. I did not expect that. I really, truly thought when I made this up that I was going to get no response whatsoever and that I would just very quietly take it down like I've done to many other videos. And just dismantle it. But that's not the case. It's, you know, it's amazing, you know, that anybody would want to have anything to do with it. And it's mind-boggling, and it is causing a avoidant reaction, which I expected. So that kind of leads, first of all, to the first thing that I'm being very avoidant. I'm like, yeah, I know what you're going to think, and I know what you're going to ask me, so I'm going to just put this out here. I mean, this is very avoidant. I'm reading y'all's mind. I'm nowhere near you. Why would I do that? Why would I purposefully do something that would trigger an avoidant reaction? The reason is because, you know, it's a theory. There's my guy down there. Here comes a car. He's not going to like it. He doesn't like cars anymore. Probably because he only has 3 legs. Anyway, why would I do that? Why would I purposefully try to trigger myself? Oh, the car went away. Come on, cat. And the reason is, as I've said before, it appears that the reactions are kind of like a pendulum. You know, and there's like the start point of the pendulum, and at the bottom it rocks back and forth. And the thing is, if you rock it hard enough, you can move this middle point of that pendulum. When you first push yourself out, that's not going to be a permanent change. You will react. You will come back, and it will swing back as far as you put yourself forward. And you will seem like you're much worse. But if you keep doing that, I really believe that you can move that fulcrum point. There's my guy right there. Going over the snow. And yeah, I am still trying to do that. Oh my goodness, can you see the snow coming off of that house? So like, actually that happened in my house. That was fun, caused a bit of damage. So I'm gonna have to do some repairs this spring. Anyway. Car, so the cat has disappeared. So yeah, oh, there he is. I'm very actively trying to push past the hopelessness and ignore it. And I mean, that's a really weird way of saying it. I just read an article. Again, it was more stuff. It was like, yeah, I saw this in DBT. Some guy who studied to become a monk who said something like, thoughts in your head, you have a front door and you have a back door, and you leave them both open and let the thoughts go in and go right through and leave again. It's the same sort of thing. Very hopeless. Really, when I look at the statistics, there is no hope. There really isn't. It's not going to change. But that doesn't mean that it's not going to get incrementally tiny little bit better. That I'm not going to be able to find coping mechanisms and coping techniques that are less maladaptive and are actually maybe even adaptive and helpful. That's possible. And so I keep pushing it. My last trip that I took, again, the point, you go to a country where you can't speak the language at all, where absolutely everything is totally different culture. Everything is different. Everything is different. The point is to radically shock your system with the newness of it all and with the different experience. He keeps sitting down. He needs a little bit of... Let me slow up for you, bud. Give you a break. What do you think? That's the point. The point is to not get stuck in doldrums. And so I'm doing these really big things. I'm going on these trips. And I'm doing, really, really embracing the new. Not always. I mean, I've been to Westminster Abbey before. Yeah, I've also been there this month. Isn't that nifty? I'm not doing things I've never done before, but I'm really actively trying to come up with something new. And my therapist, he thinks it's so cute. He's like, every time you go on these trips, maybe you'll stay there forever. Maybe you'll find some place and it'll be your new place and you'll love it and everything will be better for you. I would not, especially if I'm going someplace where I don't speak the language at all. That's not likely to happen. But I did have some experiences that I didn't expect in Marrakesh, which weren't as bad as possibly they could have been, but for an avoidant who's trying to escape by being, totally unnoticed in a crowd, being noticed and then being really, out of the comfort zone and really, there was one point I was going through the souks, which is like, just blow your mind how many little teeny paths there are through there. Really. And stupid, I'm telling you, you do travel things and you do stupid things. My phone ran out of battery and I had backup charge, the battery backup, but I didn't have the cord. That was good. So I was in the souks without navigation. I had actually been recommended to get a compass just in case. Yeah, I did. Ordered it online and it arrived while I was in Africa. But I had been through there so many times and at that point I recognized what the writing was. Well, I didn't recognize, I couldn't read it, but I recognized it as a symbol. This is how you get to the main square, and from there I knew how to get to my hotel. So I survived it. Look at him humping. Are you all tired out? I think he's all tired out. Because he's really hopping up and down when he's usually not that humpy. Anyway, you want to just go back real quick? Car coming. Come on, Perry. Get out of the street. Go, 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 go. I gotcha. Oh, I'll try to pick him up with one hand. It's not easy. There we go. So, anyway, want to get on the snow? You crazy. Yeah, he wants to go this way. So, yeah. When I came back, it was a really hard swing the other way because I had gone so far out of my comfort zone. Really hard swing to the point where I really almost sort of destroyed some things that I had been working on. Things like, really think I need to fire my therapist, stuff like that. I mean, it was very much. I'm waiting on the cat. I think we're going back. That was my reaction. My reaction is, okay, I don't want anybody to ever interact with me ever again. And I'm perfectly cool with letting something go. And it was really bad timing because there was somebody else who was going through the same thing. Didn't mean it, didn't want it, but that was the immediate reaction. And if we had done that at the same time, it would have been it. Gone. Done. But I know what it is. I can see the pattern, and I won't give in, and I just keep my mouth shut. Sort of back off, go in the down low, try to cut back my interaction, but don't say what's popping into my head. I mean, if 2 months later, I was still having the same reaction, okay, at that point it's like, yeah, this has got to go. So I was already having a pretty good avoidant swing back. And so again, staying with this pendulum sort of metaphor here, I pushed it way forward going on that trip, and I came back and it swung way back. And then when it started to regulate itself, instead of coming in the middle and letting it stop, I pushed it forward again because I am trying to move the entire pendulum forward permanently. I'm trying to hop it like my cat hops, wherever he is. Oh, he's behind me. If he can hop like that, then I can hop it too. So it was against everything to set up that Patreon because it's, I don't think I'm worth it. It seems like out there. It's also just started, so I haven't actually gotten any of the benefits from it yet, which I'm not supposed to until next month. That'll be weird. That'll be really weird if, when, whatever it happens. That'll be strange. I really planned, you see my guy? No, you can't see him. I really planned on it being kind of an Instagram thing because, again, my channel is going on 11 years old. And when I started doing the travel, people wanted to have an outlet. And I do have Facebook. I know people hate Facebook, but it has my actual name on it, so I can't sort of advertise that. I used to put pictures up on that a lot. He's so silly. I don't know if you can see him very well. So then I went on Instagram, which I could use like a pseudonym to put pictures on. And since that's who I would think would be the one who would benefit from the Patreon more than, again, because I don't think my videos are sort of like art. They're informative. Please, there's no artistry whatsoever in how I make my videos. I walk around and take incredibly dark shots of my cat following me. Come on, there's no art there at all. However, some of the pictures that I put on Instagram are kind of art. Actually, one that I just put up is like one of the prettiest pictures I think I've ever taken in my life. And it's not altered. I don't alter my pictures on Instagram. sometimes they get altered for me because I don't really understand how it works. Sometimes it does automatic cropping, which is really annoying. Sometimes you'll see a picture and it looks like it's cut off. It's because it is cut off because Instagram has cropped it, and I don't really have control over it, and I don't know how to get control over it. See, I'm not even good at Instagram. But again, since that's where the artistry would be, that's where I would assume that the Patreons would be, and I haven't even posted it there yet, because I'm doing it a little bit at a time because I don't want to like freak myself out to the point where I'm like, oh, I'm going to completely, delete my channel. I've done that. I've gotten myself to that point with things I've put up, and it's like, no, just leave it alone for a couple months. And if you're have been watching videos for a while, then sometimes I have to go away for a couple months, and that's because I've got this itchy little finger that wants to delete the whole thing. So, it's not like a huge, massive amount of, and I'm not trying to sort of slam it or dismiss it. I mean, it's just like, it's good. That's what I'm trying to say. Thank God, if I had like a massive reaction and response, it would have spooked the hell out of me. And I did have a reaction at all. Come on, cat, stay away from that dog. Oh God. Good boy. When my cat knows the dog is tethered, he goes and purposefully teases him. But I don't think he can see that he's behind a fence. Also, these people have fake deer in their yard, and I thought they were real deer at first. Anyway. People yelling at the dog. So, yes. What happens when you push against your avoidant tendencies and do something that, I made it. It wasn't just like it fell in my lap. I actually created the site, and then I told people about it and asked people to look at it. That is so far outside the comfort zone for somebody with avoidant personality disorder. There's no way I could do it to somebody in real life. There's no way. No way. I couldn't do it to people I know, like my family or whatever. There is no way in hell. No way could I do that. No. So that's one thing I really highly suggest. Push yourself, these people down there, past your comfort zone, but don't push it so hard and so far. My reaction when I first saw that I had people who signed up for the Patreon was just absolutely thrilled, like, wow. And then freaked out, like, whoa, I don't deserve that. And, then a whole bunch of stress of how am I going to live up to their expectations? Now, again, that was the point, that I was trying to build in some expectations and a little bit of responsibility in my life, because I lost a lot of stress when my mother died and my father was put in a home, and my son left school, so I didn't have to deal with his doctors and teachers and stuff. And that was fantastic, but not having responsibility in my life was really making me feel like there's no point. I actually got my last 2 cats for that reason, because I'm like, okay, well, I gotta take care of my cats. Come on. It's pretty easy to find homes for 3 cats, But add in another two that are geriatric and one has a severe heart problem. It's pretty hard to find a home for this person. Or person for the cat. I gotta, it'll take a little bit of work. Let me put another speed bump up. So again, I feel like I need to apologize for everything again. I feel like I'm not worthy again. I mean, it didn't do anything at all, as nice as it is, really, to make me feel more worthy that I am worthy at all. Really didn't. And I didn't really expect it to, so I'm glad that I didn't get disappointed that way. But the other thing was that I really kept in check the opposite, again, the pendulum will swing. And not only, okay, so somebody thinks I'm worthy, or else they wouldn't have done this, put on a Patreon. There's a cat in the woods right up here. But he needs a break, and it's light. You can actually see Perry, so we'll hang out. Ah, there he is. I think, yeah, that's Poppy. That's my big guy. It sounds like there's another one coming from somewhere else, too. They're just going to come all out of the woods. See, there's Pops. That's my big guy. So, yeah. Oh, here comes a car. Don't get squashed, cat. Poppy, come here. Oh. Okay, he saw it. Okay, good. He's off the road. Yeah, probably doesn't like cows anymore. Which is smart. I don't know. So I did have this bounce back to say, I don't think I'm worth it at all. But it hasn't gotten as bad as it could have been, which was to say that I would want to cancel the entire thing, which I really thought was a possibility. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to push back, and I'm going to try to stay in this sort of uncomfortable place, because it's good for me to be in this uncomfortable place. And again, you get used to that discomfort, and eventually that's going to move the pendulum. And I don't have crazy expectations that all of a sudden I'm not going to be avoidant anymore. I mean, come on. But I am just going to keep trying to find something. And if I find something that works, I will make sure that I let people know this worked for me, and it might not work for everybody, but it's working for me. And I get a lot of people saying, well, how are you doing your traveling and all this stuff? And I'm like, well, I do it really, really cheap. And no, I don't think it's sustainable, but that's part of the thing is I'm trying really hard not to think rest of my life. I'm trying to think what's going to work for the next month or two. Because it really is at that point. I think he doesn't want to go anywhere. He's just going to stay. Yeah, he's settling. Great, Perry, aren't we going to go home? Don't you want to go home? So that's the reaction. That's my reaction to having people think that I'm worthy, and I've got like an actual, like, numbers attached to it. Like, people are spending their actual money. That's crazy. And oh yeah. Oh, that's Poppy over there again. You can't see because there's a light. He ran for the car and now he's coming back. Maybe that's the one I keep hearing. Anyway, yeah, so that's another thing. I'll be able to look and say somebody thought that what I was doing made it worth it to them to do that, to put that money up, and to put their name down and say I approve. And as far as me trying to stress myself out to say, am I going to live up to their expectations? I've set some pretty low expectations, really, when it comes down to it. So I'm pretty sure I'll be able to handle it. Because it did at first. I was like, oh my God, now I have to do this. I have to do this. And I'm like, yes, okay. It's not like it's anything different from what you would have normally been doing. Come on, it's already going to go on a trip. And, oh yeah, getting a couple postcards, and I already have the stamps, and putting them in a mailbox is not going to be difficult, not for this first one anyway, and every other trip I've been to, I've stopped at a post office every single time. It's not something different from what I'm doing. And I think that, again, once I start getting out of the country again, which I was out of the country 2 weeks ago, so I can't quite go out of the country quite yet, then people get the real value of a foreign postmark and a foreign stamp. It's coming. I would do it anyway. I don't need to stress about it. I'm not going to be one of these people who get 800 people that they have to send a card to every month and spend 6 hours just addressing them. Thank goodness. If I did, I wouldn't have to do any other work at all if I was making that much. There's people that make some crazy money doing this type of stuff. And that's not going to be me. Okay, I guess we get to keep going. So I'm going to take Perry home and get him some food because he's done really good going for his walk out here. Tomorrow it's going to pour rain and snow, or I don't know what the heck it's going to do, some nasty thing. So he won't go for a walk tomorrow. So it's good he had his walk tonight. And I'm sure this is... Oh, here comes another one of them down the hill. It's like, come on, Mom, let's go home. Yeah. So yes, I had an avoidant reaction to seeing that, but it wasn't impossible to manage. And I think in the end, for a lot of reasons, it's going to be a positive thing. So did not totally freak out. Yeah, that's Pansy. She's the one with a heart problem. Anyway, talk to you later. Bye.